What's up, fellas? Just got back from a trip to Tuktoyaktuk up on the Arctic Ocean. Figured I'd go over my packing list and what worked and what didn't. You guys often ask how my bike is packed. This is what it looks like loaded. Keep basically sleeping gear up here, stuff that I access often on the same side as the bike as the kickstand. So that's like water and warm clothing layers that you take on or take off. And then on the other side over here, I have stuff that I use for camp usually, or maintenance equipment that doesn't get used too often on the other side of the bike. First up, riding gear. I wore a street helmet. You have a lot of miles to cover to get up there to the Arctic, and lightweight street helmet without the visor is real great for buffeting. The sun doesn't set up there, so most of the riding you're doing up there, it doesn't matter if you don't have a visor. This is lightweight, waterproof leather boots. I guess not really lightweight, they're just not like touring boots, but they need to be waterproof. It rained, you know, like 90% of the days I was on that trip. A jacket with zip-in warming layers, and this is a brand new set of first gear overpants. They worked for some guys on the trip, but they leaked for me. My bike doesn't have much weather protection. On the bike underneath the seat, I have Moto straps for backup in case my rock straps break, and for towing if we had to. A thing of soap, dish soap for mounting tires, giant zip locks, another tube is under there for the rear, and a air pump and spoons. Okay, so here's what I took in the handlebar bag. Papers, insurance and registration and writing paper, some chargers, jump pack battery charger, and microfiber cloth. I put everything electronic in double Ziploc bags so they don't get wet. So here's everything that came out of my top bag. My top bag from Walmart finally broke, blew out on the trip, still was usable. I took a Static V made by Climate sleeping pad, and I rolled that up inside of a bivy sack. And so when I roll out my bivy sack, my pad's already in the bottom of it, and then I have, you know, my sleeping bag all encapsulated in it. And I took a tarp, slept under that a couple times with mosquitoes, and didn't get eaten alive. I took the lightweight modular sleep system with the lightest summer bag, and then merino wool top and bottom. I wore those for riding most days because they keep you warm when wet, and I slept in them in the bag. And I had another merino wool sweatshirt, again, lightweight, very comfortable, they don't stink. They're expensive though, so I use mine for hunting as well. I have a poncho liner that I can add into my sleep system if it gets really cold, but I didn't have to do that, even in the north. And then in that bag I carry another dry bag to put my wet sleeping bag and stuff in, so the rest of the stuff in my dry bag doesn't get wet. And there's a set of liners for my overpants and coat, a set of shorts to sleep in, and rain gear that I had to buy along the route because my rain gear just wasn't up to the task. Riding gear didn't do it. It rained 4 days in a row and we got soaked. So these are, obviously they get tore up, but they worked really well. Just Viking rain gear. They're heavy. I'd bring frog togs or something next time, but that's what I had. Okay, from my saddlebags, can of chili I bought on the road. These neoprene gloves I bought on the road because my regular gloves were leaking and my hands were numb. Those suck. Don't buy neoprene. Try to ride in. Emergency kit with the rescue link in it. Tourniquet. It's really just for big problems. Tube kit. And you'll notice there's lots of layers. There's another rain jacket and a fleece which doubles as a pillow and an insulating layer. And here's another layer that zips into my jacket. Riding gloves. These were my cold weather gloves. They have cotton lining and leather on the outside and they were atrocious. I'm going to invest in good gloves. I also took a spare lens for my helmet, one clear and one dry. The latch on the side of my helmet right here broke, and my helmet didn't close correctly. You can see it's kind of janky. So I don't know if you're going to bring one of those, maybe bring an extra or bring a set of goggles. This has hand warmers in it. Hand warmers inside your gloves actually work well on a bike. A beanie for sleeping, keeps the mosquitoes off you. There's a GoPro and some extra food. This is my clothing, stays in its own dry sack, so I make sure that they're dry. Spare changes of wool socks. Wool is important, not cotton. A t-shirt, and these lightweight Riggs work pants, the single fronts. I wore those underneath my riding overpants. Okay, and from the other side of the bike, I have a tarp with little strings attached so I can tie it to the bike and make a lean-to if I need to, or cover up the bike. This is a toolkit. It's the Kriega tool roll. Has everything I needed for the bike maintenance. I do all my bike maintenance with this, so pretty much anything that breaks down I can fix. You can see my video on that. I have a separate video. I took brake fluid, mineral oil, and the like in case I have problems with our bikes. We were all running KTMs in the group, so that was handy. Steri pen. People used to say all the time on my videos, oh, you're going to get sick. No problems ever. Alps. Blow-up inflatable cushion for my pad. This is off, and I cut a plastic bottle to go over the top of it so it doesn't accidentally get depressed and go off inside my bags. I take my chain lube and put it inside a plastic bag so it doesn't get things sticky inside my bags, but you're putting on a lot of miles up in the north. Microfiber towel, a splint. This is a coffee cup. It's a tin mug in a insulated, cozy. Couple those straps for tie downs. I wore these ankle braces underneath my boots because I have bad ankles. These are barefoot running shoes. They pack down smaller than most flip-flops, and they're very comfortable. Can of fuel for my jet boil. I have a bottle across the bottom of the jet boil. Inside there is coffee, the stove, a base, and a rag for cleaning, and so that it doesn't get bounced around and destroy the stove. And then I had my hygiene kit, which includes a headlamp and a can opener and a spoon and various powders, and I think I even took shampoo for some reason. So extra double A's. This is everything that went with me on the trip. Now what I didn't take on the trip is also important. Okay, so like I said, I take a pen and pencil with me on this trip. And with those, I write down things that occur to me through the trip that, you know, I might want to do next time. So here's some stuff I wish I would have taken. Number one, a Camelback. A small one that has space, but you could put, you know, your rain gear in there that you're always taking on and off, or layers, or water. It's just handy. Wish I would have had one of those. This is a set of earbuds. Everride reviewed them. They're like 10 or 11 bucks on Amazon. Make great earplugs, and you can listen to stuff, which is great when you're munching, you know, 600 miles out of whack up north. A lot of interstate and highway type riding to get to the Dempster. If you're planning on going to Alaska or northern Canada, that's kind of part of the deal. I wish I would have had better gloves. These gloves sucked a lot. They leaked, and I would really invest in a good set of gloves before you go up north. I use these mechanics gloves for dry riding, and they work great. I had a net gaiter too. And I would like to bring another spare dry bag to keep wet gear separate, and some Ziplocs next time. So that's pretty much my trip. Thanks for watching, folks.